Welcome back. On today's video I'm going to be covering off the plumbing for the recirculating shower. This video was filmed over a couple of months because it's taken quite some time to get all the parts and pieces together to enable me to assemble it. Right, so I've got to have 3 pipes come up here, 2 to go into the shower, it's going to go through the wall there, and then the other one's going to come up and join up with these 2 to give the taps in the sink a water supply. That's only going to be cold water, I'm not worried about hot water up there. If I need hot water I will literally just boil some water or something. Yeah, so it's got to come under here, which is going to be fun. Just got to go all around, see if we can get this. Here we go, through there and then out into the garage section, which currently I've just placed the panel there just so it's ready for the tank to go on top of. I've got to cut a bit away down there, perhaps just to move the air duct in this way a little bit, get away from that diesel line, and the radiator pieces go on here for the bubble heater, which then will enable the back of the boot to get some hot air in it as well. That'll be on a splitter, so I can either boil the water or take it as a direct feed. The good thing is with it sitting next to the fresh water tank, it should also enable that not to freeze up when we're in sub-zero temperatures. So what I've done now is I've put this board down on here. It is fixed all the way around along the back and across on the middle here. The idea being that I'm going to be able to take this piece out separately because I've put the diesel heater pump inside the wheel arch. A lid's going on, insulation's going around it to reduce the ticking noise is the plan. This piece here will go under here to support, which will in turn hold the upright as well as the board that goes on here, so that I can put the platform on top and then the wall comes up on the edge here. I've got temporary located, it's got to move a little bit, the heat exchanger. There's a little wall's got to go across here to stop it from melting the main water tank. I might put a couple of little like holes in it just to let a little bit of heat through, just so the bottle itself doesn't freeze up. It shouldn't do because it's internal. There's a diesel heater in there obviously and that. Now what we've got here is we've got the diverter. So the first half will come into the heat exchanger, and when I pull the diverter over it will just come out this side, which will come out alongside just here and then put heat into the boot separately. Now that the filters are in place, it's time to add the tank. I've gone for the 12 litre version, including what's in the system, which is around about 2 or 3 litres. It should give me around about 15 litres worth of water within the recirculating shower. The way it will be filled is through this stop valve here, which comes off the first pump, which is the pump which will also supply water to the main tank out of the 93 litres that I've got on board. So I'll just fill the one tank and then I can fill everything subsequently from that. On this side I've got the return valve, which brings the water back to the recirculating shower tank after it's been through the filtration. And down in the corner there I have got the outlet for the hot water to go round into the shower. As you can see, I've also added another drop valve there, so I can actually send the water out of the system without having to run it through everything if I choose to. Here's the tank, and on the side here as well I'm going to connect up the outlet for the hot. The ins are going to go on the top. I've also got to put two little hose entries here for the hot water to go down to the heat exchanger, and I'm also going to add into the top a sender unit to tell me how much fluid is actually in the tank. Next thing I'll do is I'll drill out the hole here to enable me to put on the 15mm John Guest tank fitting, which will go on here like this. This part goes on the inside and you just screw it up to make a seal. So this is the sender unit I've opted to go for. These work really well with the Victron Cerbo units. It will actually send a nice analog signal, so as the float goes up it tells me how much is in there. Now what I'm looking to achieve with this is, rather than to know that the level's up, is to make sure I know when the level goes down to indicate that I might have a leak more than anything else. It will help when it comes to filling, but yeah, more so about detecting leaks. Now that I've worked out where the wood needs to be cut and I made the hole in it ready for the probe to come through, it's time to completely encase this in Celotex. Now the filters are in place, I've also connected up the power there for the UV light which sits on top. I've got the cables coming around for the power, also for the sender. All the pipe work's now got to go in here, which I've already marked out, worked out where they're going to go. I've got a few valves. This is to empty it. What I've done is I've made a mark, because these are quite awkward to read. I don't need to see that. So that should tell me where the flow is, and if I need to change it, it's going to rotate this way. So I know all the time it's like that, I'm good, it's not going to leak, because this is where I'm going to be able to drain the system from. And the other point I'll be able to drain it from is from the bottom of the filter here. And then obviously once I take these off, I'll be able to take those away. I've got a non-return valve just here, which sits on this return line coming into the filters. Here we are under the sink. I've mounted the pump at the bottom with the expansion chamber above it. And the idea will be that we're then carrying up to the taps for the shower. So this is where I've used the 90-degree bends so that I can come out of here, straight into the expansion chamber, and again on the other side, come out of the filter, down, and then join onto the John Guest fittings down the bottom here. Here down in the cupboard underneath the sink, I've now got the filter ready to go. Got the cables out of it. We've got 3 cables on it. We've got your negative, you've got your live, and then you've got your auto, because there is a float switch in this to turn this on and off as required. So I'm probably going to put it on the float switch initially to start with and just see what happens. It's going to be a bit of a trial and error with this, just to see how it kind of plays out really. And then I've got the pump here, which has also got the power coming up, and then I've got a bunch of cables here which come from the other side, which is the main water tap pump, which does the filling of the recirculating shower as well as the kitchen sink. I've got the UV on here as well, and then so there we go, we've got the UV light there. See, I've labelled them, and these two just need to be finished off being labelled up. So there we have the tank for the recirculating shower back into place. The hose down this end here is just hanging out down the bottom there, ready to go into the bobble heater. On the other side here, you can see the electric element there, which is for the power dump, for when we've got too much power and the soda starts throttling back. Under the sink we have the main pump for the shower unit with the expansion vessel just above. There are 2 sets of pipe that come in here. We have the hot line and the cold line. I've used 15mm John Guest fittings with this, and I've used flexible pipe between the expansion vessel and the pump, and the John Guest and the pump, purely simply to help keep the vibration and the noise levels down. Down the bottom is the return sump, which on this line here connects to the bottom of the shower tray. This one here is a breather hose, just to allow for the air to expand and move out the way of the water. And then this is the return line that goes back to the garage where the filtration system is. In the back here is where all the filters are. Gone for a 4-stage filtration. So here we are in the garage. In front of me is a 93 litre water tank for our fresh water. In the corner there is the diesel heater tank. We decided to keep the diesel heater separate, purely simply because I didn't want to run out of fuel, and all of the diesel that's in the tank is then used for driving around. That is wired into the servo, so I can tell independently what my fuel level is for the diesel tank. Above it we've got both the pump and the accumulator for the main water system. That comes across here. There is a valve here which enables us to fill up the recirculation shower. The pipe from there carries on over the back and carries on down the corner there, goes down and then underneath and comes out underneath the sink, where it goes straight at the back to the taps of the sink. The recirculation shower is able to be filled up here into the tank, and there is the return line on the recirculating shower. What happens with that? We have the bobble heater down the bottom here with the pump, which enables the recirculating of the water through the bobble system. It then comes out at the back where there is another tap to stop, goes down, goes underneath, and goes out up to the other side under the sink, where it comes up into the main pump for the shower. As far as filtration is concerned, back here there is a 4-stage filtration system and a UV filter. So we've got the spin down filter at the front here, Then we've got the first of our 3 filters, which is a 20, a 10 and a 5 micron. It then goes up into the UV filter, comes back down. This is the cold return line, which I can adjust here accordingly, so I can increase the flow back there. I've found that I need to keep a very small amount there because the sump pump itself isn't powerful enough to power all of that as well. This line then returns back over back here, comes across the top of the tank and then back down inside. The reason I've done it that way is that it brings the return water to this end of the tank and the hot water is being taken out of this end of the tank. Therefore it is recirculating and having an opportunity to keep the water at a decent temperature. So there we have it. That's how I went about setting up the plumbing for the recirculating shower. I hope it was useful to a number of you out there that are considering doing the same sort of thing, and maybe it's inspired a couple of you that have thought about it but decided it was a little bit too hard to do. As you can see, it's a very simple process. What's left for me to say is thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. Please do hit the like button if you did enjoy it. Also, don't forget the subscribe button and notification bell here when the next video goes live. See you in the next video.